Torio, Torio, o Touareg R-Line. Bushi, Humano Harobale, O Caro Twanga Kiss a Poco. Dualambo maseve. This week we are in the VW Touareg 3-liter TDI R-Line, last number Touareg, and we are going to have a conversation. So if you are new here, welcome to the channel and I hope you stay. And if you're an upstanding member of the Maseve Society, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please don't forget to watch those ads because Kulaveka Gucci and all that jazz. So now let's get into the Volkswagen Touareg. So let's get into the exterior of the VW Touareg, and I really think this car looks the part. It's a very pretty vehicle, very big, very large, sits on 21-inch wheels. So there's part of this rim that I feel like can come off. So it looks like a bit of a windmill. So at first glance, you'll think this car is an EV because of the way this rim is blacked out. It's not an EV, it's very much a diesel. So I don't know where they were going with that rim design. It looks a bit different, but I don't know, man. I think the car looks cool. It's finished in this gray, they call it a gray metallic matte, which I find to be an oxymoron because that's like saying dark bright, you know? Metallic matte, I don't know. So I'll put the name of the color on the screen. But it's finished in this matte wrap, which I think looks good, especially because it's stock. It's from the OEM. It's a good wrap because have you seen aftermarket wraps, guys? Something is laminated, so and then it got all the bubbles. Yeah, I got screen protector. It just looks weird sometimes. Sorry, that's just me. It just looks weird sometimes. However, I think this matte is a very nice color. It's a very beautiful exterior. You have the IQ matrix LED headlamps up in front. You have the blacked out Touareg badge at the back. You have roof rails on this car. Very large, very imposing grille. The badge of the VW's badge is just there in front of you. So this is a very big car that commands presence, has the stance, looks the part, and I really think that they knocked it out the park with this updated one. So there's not much noticeable changes from the outgoing one, but I think it looks good. The nip and tuck that they did on this vehicle on the exterior really makes it look the part. And look, I'm taken aback by this car. Like, it really looks beautiful for me. And yeah, you also have a large sunroof, a panoramic sunroof. So, man, they did well. So when you move on to the interior, it's very much a Volkswagen, guys. This interior is very much VW. You have your multifunction steering wheel, R-Line steering wheel, the Squirtle like big steering wheel, which I really like. You have your digital cluster up in front of you and your infotainment system screen. This large infotainment system screen reminds me a lot of the one in the Lexus, in the newer Lexuses that you find, Lexuses or Lexi. So really nice on the interior. The leather in this car, guys, absolutely. The upholstery on the dash is so beautiful. I love that they kind of slanted the infotainment system to face the driver, so that's cool. That's very ergonomic. That's very nice thinking. Very sufficient door cab. Again, what is it? Door bins. I always say door cabins. Door bins. You have electrically adjustable seats. You also have memory seats. You know, you have quite a lot of features on the interior. You have this large gear lever in the middle, 2 cup holders right on the center console. You know, you have a conventional volume knob, which I like, the swivel knob that is on the center console and the bottom here. You have a wireless charging bay. You have storage space. You have 3 USB-C ports. You have 3 USB-C ports. You have so much space in this car, guys. Like, I feel like this car is just big. As guys, and you have a large panoramic sunroof. You know, you have R-Line stitching on the seats. It's a fully leather interior. Very nice, very nice. Sufficient boot space as well. So on the interior, I'm highly impressed. Black roof lining as well. I mean, guys, you do have the feature, the option, not the option, but the feature of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So yeah, man, I mean, the interior for me is really, really, really pretty. So yo, so what is powering the updated Volkswagen Touareg is a 3-liter V6, so it's a TDI, it's a turbo diesel that produces 190 kilowatts and 600 newton meters of torque, mated to an 8-speed automatic gearbox. And I think this is just an amazing power plant. I'm a sucker for diesels, guys. As long as it's big and it's a diesel, I'm happy. I'll definitely be happy. I think the power outputs of this car is absolutely great. It's a punchy engine. It moves. The torque is there. When you put your foot down, even on standstill, when you put your foot down, it's ready and eager to go. So that's something that I love about this car. Very, very, very lovely, lovely car. When I first got it, the full tank range was about 800 kilometers. And I think that's sufficient for a diesel. I think most diesels, you get between 800 to 1,000 kilometers, depending on the manufacturer. But I think I got 860. And I did quite a bit of driving, and I'm now on a half tank. And the consumption in here is absolutely stunning. There's not much to fault. On highway driving, it's absolutely beautiful. City driving is also quite good. I really love the fact that it has an air suspension, so you don't feel much of what's going on the road. It just it cushions your bums. It's so comfortable to drive. You just want to sit in here, guys. It's a serene driving experience. It's not that groggy diesel as well. It's not that. It's a very nice diesel. You hear that the loudness, you hear it mostly when you're outside, but when you're inside, that could add to also the noise insulation of this vehicle. Very quiet, very nice to be in. So the Touareg for me is an absolute winner in terms of driving dynamics, and I didn't expect anything less from Volkswagen. When it comes to their diesel power plants, I think even the one in the Tiguan, I didn't experience anything. I didn't experience any turbo lag or anything like that. But this 3-liter, I'm so glad they retained it, because it works very, very well for this car. And I think the power outputs are good. So I'm very impressed, guys. I think you guys can tell that, like, I didn't expect to be taken aback by a Touareg like this, especially driving wise. I thought because it's gonna be lazy. It's not lazy, at all. Very, very nice car to drive. So yeah, I'm very impressed. 10 out of 10 in terms of driving, guys. Like, I love the Touareg. Please mind my hair. Please mind my hair. I had to get my cornrows done. I had to get my cornrows done because I'm going to install a wig. So sorry, but yeah, I tried to make them neat. I want to get a zigzag. That was a game. Zigzag, guara, guara. Come on. Like what? The names of colors. Is it the game? Yo, guys, I'm such a child. But anyway, we need to get into the verdict. Let's stop playing games, remember? Let's get into the verdict. You guys can see I've got my glasses on for the verdict, because it's gonna get serious now. So the Touareg for me is a proper car. Very nice, very good. So you have vehicles in its rivals from the top of my head. You've got cars like the BMW X5, you've got the Mercedes-Benz GLE, you've got your Volvo XC90, you've got the Lexus NX, you've got the Lexus NX that we recently test drove, and I think I can also add the one I recently drove, the Mazda CX-60, because it has a 3.3 liter. So those are the kind of cars I can think of. The reason why I'm not adding the Cayenne is because I feel like the Cayenne is too close to the Q8, the Audi Q8. Albeit they share the same MQB platforms, they are not really identical. They just share some components, but also pricing wise, I think the Cayenne is a bit out. So I'm just trying to find cars that are within its price range and within its size, right? So I think those cars that I've mentioned earlier are the ones that play here very well. And the Touareg shines. However, I think there is quite a reason that you don't see as much Touaregs on the road, because you have a very, very strong product in the BMW X5. The BMW X5 is a 3-liter turbo diesel that has 195 kilowatts. So it's 5 kilowatts more than this. You also have the Volvo XC90 that we drove with that hybrid crazy that has 370 something kilowatts. You know, so those are two cars that you see quite a lot, even the GLE as well, but I'm not a big fan of the GLE. So for the sake of this review, I'm probably going to keep it to those cars, but mainly focus on the X5, and you'll find out why very, very soon. Let me start with the things I don't like about the Touareg, and there are quite a few, and you guys will probably be like, Reba, what do you mean? You are just saying this car is very perfect, whatever. First things first, the steering wheel. And I had the same problem in the Amarok. The steering wheel is something that I can find in a Polo GTI with the touch haptics. In fact, this thing just has R-Line on the bottom. I feel like they could have done a bit more with the steering wheel and given us something a bit different. And I feel the same about the Amarok. They could have given us a nicer steering wheel. This is obviously bigger than in the other cars I've mentioned, but Branahana paying so much money. How it's an amokoloing or go balance steering wheel sa Polo TSI. Sa Polo T. I'm a peel. Whoa. Sorry. But that's the first thing I was like, oh, but I was like, no ways. The second thing, I went onto the configurator of Volkswagen, right? And I looked and I tried to spec it to closely what this vehicle is spec'd as, because when the booking confirmation came in of this car, there was no spec sheet attached. So I did my bit of research. There is no aftermarket sound system, which is bizarre. There's no Harman Kardon. In a Tiguan, you get Harman Kardon. I wonder why they didn't put it in here. You just get like a Dyna audio. And I was like, how about Twamdim? A lot of your rivals have aftermarket sound systems. So why wouldn't they put it in here? So that's the second thing that kind of put me off. The third thing that I don't like about this car is that even with the nip and tuck that they did, it looks good. But compared to its rivals, it's still a bit long in the tooth. You can still see Hore. It's a bit of a Mdala spec. It's aging. The Touareg is aging. So that's the third thing that I don't like about this vehicle. However, there is some good to this car outside of the things that I just mentioned earlier. You have heated and ventilated seats, you have a lot of parking aids, you have adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, all these niceties in this car. So yeah, there's a lot of niceties and value for money offerings you get. When it comes to value for money, you guys are probably asking, how much does this car cost? When I configured it, you're looking at paying 1.8 million for this vehicle. All right, and that's where I bring back my gripe of the steering wheel. Paying 2 million rand, almost 2 million rand for me to walk into this vehicle and be faced by a Polo GTI steering wheel. Guys, I'm sorry. That's one of the things that is really grating me. And you can argue that a lot of manufacturers do this, whatever. They interchange steering wheels, but I felt the same in the Amarok. I was like, hey guys, to make it more distinct, these two models could have gotten a very nicer upgrade in terms of the steering wheel. It's a tried and tested one, can't fault it, great, nimble. When you steer, it goes left, it goes right, it knows what to do. But it's just like, Drew, I'm paying so much money just to look at this thing. Cause I don't know. You guys maybe will comment, but that's one of my biggest gripes about this car. But at 1.8 million, it is a compelling product. It's something that I would consider myself. Because when we put in the Cayenne is already 2.3 million. And that is a V8. It's a 3-liter V8. But it's already very much high priced. But when we put it with its stablemate, that's where I think the X5 might cannibalize this car, or is cannibalizing this car. In the X5, you're looking at paying around 1.8 million. You get 5 more kilowatts. You do get Harman Kardon, and I feel like you get a bit of a better and a better interior that has a bit better personality than this one. This is very dark, a bit bland. I understand it's executive and whatever, but I feel like with the X5, you can have a bit more fun with that car. And with it being a BMW, you are guaranteed a great driving experience. And with that being that big turbo diesel, you're getting about 1,000 kilometers of range, if not more. Same with the GLE, probably nicer with the ambient lighting, a bit more fun. You get the Burmeister sound system, you get the sunroof, you get a lot. Volvo, you get the Bowers and Wilkins, guys. Bowers and Wilkins, the OG Bowers and Wilkins. So, it's neither here nor there. All these cars are great, but how I put it into perspective with this car. This car is like getting 79% on a test. You were almost there. You almost cracked the distinction. You're proud of yourself. You've done well, great. But you almost had it. Just small things, just that one question, and you'd have had a distinction. And I hope that analogy makes sense. So yeah. So, ultimate verdict on the Volkswagen Touareg. Beautiful car. They did it well. Great exterior updates, great color options, great interior, very beautiful. However, the price is somewhat justified, but looking at the rivals, many people would go a different route and would go to the other German manufacturers, which is fair, which is warranted, which is granted. Would I buy the Touareg? I'm not sure. At this point, I'm not sure. However, it's not a car that I'd be upset at living with. It's only the steering wheel that's just like, oh, guys. Driving wise, fuel economy wise, everything ergonomically, it's a 10 out of 10. But if I'm faced with the option of an X5, if I'm faced with the option of getting maybe something like a Porsche, if I'm faced with an option of getting that big Volvo XC90 with bowels and Wilkins, my decision would be swayed to go to one of those vehicles, you know? So yeah, I mean, I'm looking at an X5 now and I'm like, hey, brah, you know? So ultimately, I'll have to give the Touareg an 8 out of 10. Very well done. Very beautiful. Very beautifully done. Just small things. Just the small things. Just nyana ngeba ukedite nyana, but not tella letswai mo, but tella norokse mo, but tella 6 gani mo. What the judge? You know? I don't tell 6 gani nyana, not tella raja, but chak kari powder nyana. Just what koloi inorza. Stand out. That's all I wanted it. I just needed a little bit more, man. I hope I'm making sense, guys. I really hope I'm making sense. So yeah, so my advice, if you are looking at vehicles in this segment, if you're looking at the executive SUV segment, shortlist the Touareg. Shortlist the Touareg, look at what it offers, test drive it, and then make a decision. However, also look at the BMW X5 and maybe look at the Volvo X, the XC90. And then let me know what you guys think. The nice thing about the XC90 is also because of that mild hybrid. It's a plug-in hybrid. I think it's a PHEV, yeah. So there's a lot of niceties there. But shortlisted, man. Like, think about it, guys. That's all I can say. And that is it from me, maseve. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Let me know what you guys think about the VW Touareg. Would you buy the Touareg? Would you look at something else? Or what are you spending your money on if you had 1.8 million rands with you right now? Let's have a conversation in the comments. Yeah, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Have I eaten? No, I just had tea. I didn't even have yogurt this morning, so I need to get that. I look like my problems. I need to fix myself. There's a lot happening in my life right now, but you know, I'll always show up for you guys as much as I can, because namiranza ngofu ndiyanifuna ngamanda ngiyanithanda akasliferele kelarata kalerato la love, and I'm rambling. So thank you guys so much. Bye bye, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.